Hello everybody, welcome back to Paleo Springs State Park. Today we're doing things a little bit different. We're having the live play here at the beginning and a speed build kind of in the middle, and we'll have a live play at the end. The reason for that is since the announcement of the terrariums system that's coming to Prehistoric Kingdom in one of the soon updates, one of the near future updates. Again, if you're watching this in the future and it's already out, congratulations. You're catching up on the old stuff. But for us here in the present now, we don't have those new terrariums. So one of the things that has been bugging me is the education center. And I know we put in the Archaeopteryx in here. And I took out the Archaeopteryx. And now I'm going to hopefully, delete the Archaeopteryx building there. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go through here and we're going to delete a lot of this pretty much here on this side of the education center. For those of you that didn't see the park tour or anything like that, we have this area in here, our little education building, our education room rather, with a hallway for an extended gallery space. And what I want to do is I want to now block out spaces for those future terrariums. And fortunately, we know exactly how big those are going to be because Critevo, or Blue Meridian rather, released the sizes in that January dev diary. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. I'll try to post the screenshot here of how big they're going to be. But for those of you that don't want to go watch it or whatever, the sizes are 4x8 and 8x10. So for those of you that are new to the game, or maybe you've been watching for a while now, if I click on one of these walls, this is a 4-meter wall. So it's 4 meter tall by 4 meter wide, and probably a foot thick or something like that, half a meter thick. I don't know how thick they are, but you can change that sort of stuff. But they are a square 4 meters. Now, fortunately, because again, we know how big those sizes are, I can go through and block out where those future terrariums are going to go. And we're going to block out more spaces here probably today than is necessary and that we'll probably end up using in the future. But I would rather err on the side of caution and have too much room for those terrariums rather than not enough. So we're going to jump into the speed build now, and I will be back to talk to you guys during that, sort of explaining what I do there. All right, so like Past Me was saying, they're going to be changing around the way that they do these terrariums. So previously, if you've played the game, you'll be familiar with the Archaeopteryx and the Microraptor. Those are the only two quote-unquote terrarium size animals that we have in the game right now. In their January dev diary, which if you haven't seen my breakdown of that on the video, on the channel yet, it's a long video, just a heads up, but I go into a lot of the details about the update and about some of the reasons why they're doing some things, or I talk about the paleontology or the paleobotany, a little bit more in detail than a lot of the other creators do. Again, it's a big one, it's a long one, it's a big update, but yeah, it's a good one if you haven't checked it out yet. So what I'm doing here is I'm removing out all of the Archaeopteryx room here. You can see that it's almost double the amount of space that the largest terrariums are going to be. So these terrariums that they had in here, or I guess you could call them aviaries, that they had in here previously were just obscenely massive. And so much so that it was it's an overdue thing, and I'm super excited for these terrariums. So as Past Me was saying, they're going to be changing the sizes to 4 by 8 and 8 by 12. And as of now, they're going to be having 3 different categories for those terrariums as well, which are terrestrial, semi-aquatic, and arboreal. So the arboreal is going to be our Microraptor and our Archaeopteryx. Again, 2 of the classics that we know and love. But they're also adding 3 really exciting animals that I'll put them on screen now. The concept art from that January Dev Diary of Compsognathus, Tiktaalik, and Yichi. And I could not be more excited with any of those, honestly. So for those of you that don't know, Compsognathus is a big name in the Jurassic Park world. It's the, as they refer to, compies. It's the dinosaur that basically hops around, is super, super small, super adorable, but they travel in these packs and they hunt people. In reality, that probably wouldn't be the case, but it's fun to imagine that they would anyway. Tiktaalik, just very briefly, is the ancestor to all vertebrate species on Earth. It is the equivalent of today's mudskippers. Mudskippers are fish that come out of water, and they actually have to breathe air, but they have to keep their gills wet, which is why they still live in the water most of the time, or near the water. Tiktaalik was pretty much exactly the same, and again is the ancestor to all vertebrate animals today. And Yichi, I actually don't know a ton about Yichi, but it is the shortest name in all of paleontology. It is just 4 characters long, so that's a really interesting fact about it. Anyway, getting back to the speed build here, what I'm doing is, one of the things that I've been wanting to do is update this dung beetle terrarium. I wanted to make it smaller. It was way too big before. This is probably still too big, but this is equivalent to probably a real world size of like a 75-gallon aquarium. I don't know what it is in liters for my Europeans in the room, but this looks to me like maybe a 75, maybe a little bit more than that. But you'll see right here, I had to delete all of the dung beetle bases because there is a bug in this game, and it has been here for many, many updates now. And I know they're working on other stuff, and they will get around to it eventually. But there is a bug in here where you can see I had to restart entirely for the save. If you place down a dung beetle and you try to change it, you try to pick it up, you try to move it around, you may get lucky and you may be able to do it once. Most of the time, that is not the case, and you will have to delete them and then save your game and exit and then re-enter, and it'll work then. For whatever reason, it's just, this has been almost every single habitat that has the dung beetles in there. It's broken. I don't even know if they actually pick up dung anymore, the dung beetles, because after the keeper update, I think is really when it broke, because now you don't need the dung beetles in the enclosures. The keepers can do it. We are going to be adding dung beetles, though, into some of the next videos that come out into those enclosures, just because those are going to be massive, and I'm not going to tell you what they are because I want you to watch them. But yeah, so anyway, we finally get it to work here, and one of the things that I really wanted to do that I'll talk about again in the live play is make this look and feel like a terrarium. So I added these grasses here, these sedges, into this habitat and sort of make it look dry. I also added these twigs as well. The ones on the left side disappear in the live play. You'll see me talk about that there. I don't know why. I don't know why that happened, but you know, we're living with it and we're here. I also changed the base to concrete, and I think that's what I'm going to end up using for all of the terrariums going forward is a concrete base, just to give it a little bit more oomph. But we're blocking out these little areas here, and there's really not much to this. Again, I'm just sort of counting out. I had to ask my robot with the A name from Amazon that I won't say because I don't want it to go off for any of you guys out there. But I had to ask my robot what 4 divided by, or what 12 divided by 4 was. I know what it is, but I like to double check because I am dyslexic and dyscalculic and whatever else is out there. I am that, and I like to double check. So yeah, so what you're seeing here is an 8 by 12 enclosure. Again, you can go back to the beginning and see how big that Archaeopteryx space was. It was basically this whole entire thing. But now we're almost able to double that and add way more stuff in here. Now, when it comes to the animals that they're adding in this next update, I have no idea if, Tiktaalik can live in a 4x8, or if Yichi, if 4x8 is enough for them, or Compsognathus. I have no idea. I have no idea if the 4x8 and 8x12 means that you can have more in there. I'm really curious. That said, one of the things that I said in the January Dev Diary overview was that of the 3 categories that they're going to be having, they're missing one that is crucial, I think. And I know I can already hear people saying, well, they're going to add it in the future. It's going to be a DLC. It's going to be an update. Yeah. I know. But they need to add desperately a fully aquatic terrarium in there, also known as a aquarium. But they need to add an aquarium section in here, a fully aquatic, because there were a lot of animals back then that were fully aquatic. And I can already hear some people saying, oh, well, the space that they would have, wouldn't be enough for those aquatic animals. Sure, I get it. I keep aquariums as well. I know that you wouldn't keep a Tang in a 75 gallon. And if you're part of the Tang police, then, you wouldn't keep them in a 200 or 300 gallon because they need open ocean. I get it. I know. But I think it would be so cool as a learning opportunity, again, to have some of these animals in here, like, nautilus or trilobites, things that don't need to swim around super, super far. And by nautilus, I mean ammonites, like the really small ones that you find pretty much everywhere. The life in the ocean is older than anything else that is on land. And the fact that they don't have a fully aquatic section in here, I think is a real miss. And I hope that they hear that, and I hope that they add that, and I hope that they fix that dung beetle issue as well. There's a few bugs that I'm starting to have here in this game. I still absolutely love it. It's still probably my favorite game of all time. But yeah, there's some things happening. And that's where I'm going to leave you guys off for now. We have just a couple more seconds here until the other portion of the live play. So I will see you all back there in the live play. All right, so we are back now, and I think I like how it turned out. Um, yeah, I don't know what's been happening, but since update 13, the game has been super laggy for me. So I really hope they fix that soon. But yeah, anyway, the idea of it is that say you're walking in here to the front of the park. I'm gonna actually pause it so it's a little bit smoother. Say you're walking in here through the front of the education center, and the first thing you see is just a little glimpse here of course, autosave, and I can't turn it off because it's a challenge park. It's fine. Um, so, yeah, you come in through here, and the first thing you see is a 4x8 enclosure. And then around here to the other side is another 4x8 enclosure. I think these two will really complement each other. I have no idea what we're going to put in there yet. We have to kind of wait and see what animals they're going to bring to the game. But then when you come around to this side, you have another 4x8 enclosure, and I really like where this one is kind of tucked away. I think we'll put probably the Tiktaalik in here, maybe. We'll see if it can live in a habitat that small. But yeah, so I also resized the dung beetle enclosure. I really, really like how this turned out now. I wanted to make it feel more like a terrarium with the twigs in here and the dry foliage. Some of the dry foliage disappeared. And you all saw during the speed build as well that I had to actually exit out. There's been a bug in the game for a while now. I don't know if I mentioned this in the voiceover or not, but there's been a bug for a while now where the dung beetle enclosures or the dung beetle piles, I guess, when you place them and then you try to edit them, it breaks the game somehow, and you can't move them. You can't do anything with them. There's something weird going on with the dung beetles, and it's been like that for quite a while now, for quite a few updates. This out here, anyway, getting back to it, I love this bridge. So this is going to go to the education extension. I may actually make another 8x12 out here. Maybe we'll have an outdoor sort of aviary out here. I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, this little bridge here, this is just absolutely gorgeous. If I was coming here and visiting this zoo, this would be by far one of my favorite places to see. Now, obviously, you can see the backstage here, and you can also see the Megalosaurus in there. I'm okay with that. I think I'm fine with that. It's probably going to take a hit to the park beauty, but honestly, it's fine. It's fine by me. So yeah, over here in these woods, what we're going to be adding is one of those smaller dinosaurs that doesn't need a terrarium, and coincidentally, one that needs a very small space. So I am looking right now between Psittacosaurus, Psittacosaurus SP, which for those of you out there that don't know what the SP period means, it just means species. It's like a non-descriptive species. So they have, for instance, in here, I'll just show you all. They have in here, for instance, where is it? Yeah, there we go. So we have, yeah, Psittacosaurus mongoliensis, Psittacosaurus sibericus, and then Psittacosaurus generalis. So this one is from Mongolia. This one is from Siberia. That's what the Ericus or Ensis names mean. They're Latin for from a specific place. So for all of you tea drinkers out there, tea comes from the Camellia sinensis, which sinensis means from China, Sibericus from Siberia, Mongoliensis from Mongolia, SP or SSP or SPP means it's just a specific species. And I'm sure someone out there is probably going to correct me in the comments of the specific delineations for those. From a novice perspective, from just a general level to understand those, that's kind of just what they mean. It's not really anything too crazy. But yeah, so I am torn right now, and I'm still deciding on between the Psittacosaurus and the Leiolinosaurus. So Psittacosaurus SP only needs 250 square meters. I don't know how big that is. That may actually just be that may just be 8 by 12. I don't actually know. I'll have to do the math on that. But Psittacosaurus is a really cool one. It's one of the most common fossils that is found. But I'm also thinking of Leiolinosaurus, which, where are you? Leiolinosaurus. They only need 435, so that's not too much. And I think these are a really cool animal as well for education purposes, just because, you know, they're a dinosaur. They are from the Arctic Circle, from the poles, which you don't really think about dinosaurs living in the poles. So that's pretty cool in and of itself. The fact that they need a really small space is perfect for this education center. And I think it's really cool too to show they burrowed as well. So we'll have to try to figure this out, but to try to figure out a way on how to get the Leiolinosaurus to burrow or have a burrow there. I have some ideas that I may play around with, but yeah, so that's kind of it for where we are right now. Let me know what you think. This is just a quick one, just a quick little video, an update on our education center here. We are definitely going to be adding more as this park grows. And for those of you that didn't watch the last video, the Elasmotherium, I'll show you all right now as well that I've created these, what are they called? What are they called? These information panels. So I've made these information panels here. Sorry, my brain blacked out as I was trying to figure out the angle snap there. But I made these information panels just a little cleaner, a little more professional, as you would actually see in a zoo or a museum or something like that. So this first one here is based off of the in-game one. I just tweaked it a little bit to make it look a little bit more professional and elevated. It's got 2 lights on it, the info screen, and then those black bars are to imply where text would be on there. And then I have this one. This is probably my favorite, with the backdrop on there, the white implied text, the info screen, the 2 lights lighting up that, and then 2 lights above that lighting up the entire panel there itself. And then we also have, and this is probably what we're going to be using in here in this education center for these terrariums, is a wall-mounted version. So these you can just slap onto a wall and it has everything that you already need. Obviously, these are super customizable. You can make them however you want. You can change them however you want. And they're really great. So I'll link down to those as well. Let me know if you guys would like the education center here to be on the workshop as it is. Now that I'm able to actually update the, that does not belong there. Oh, that's another thing that I changed. Actually, speaking of that, I moved the entrance over here to the cave bear side because I believe, sort of existentially, I guess, in free and open education. So I want people to be able to come in here and not stand on the roof, but I want people to come in here, especially the school kids, you know, to come in and maybe we imagine there's a security guard there, security checkpoint there, but I want people to come in to this education center and to be able to use it, to be able to have fun in here and see the animals and not have to pay for the park itself. Obviously, we need people to pay for the park itself. We have to feed the animals, we have to keep the lights on, but I want people to experience some stuff for free or relatively for free. Which, on that note, we have the education center here again that is free of charge. Coming in the next episode, the next couple episodes, this is a teaser for you. I will not tell you what it is. If you watch this video, congratulations, you are in the know ahead of time, but we have some exciting stuff that's coming down the pipeline, and I am super stoked to get it underway. I have been really excited to build for these animals specifically. You can probably already guess which ones they are, but with that is where I'm going to leave off this video here, and I want to thank you again so much for watching. It is always a pleasure to do these videos, and it's always a real honor and a treat to have you all watch them. There's a million things you could have been doing in your day, and you chose to spend a little bit of that time here with me and watch me update the education center and maybe learn a couple of things along the way. So yeah, with that, I'm going to leave it off here. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.